Go for it then.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome to A Long Time Ago. I'm Adam. I've got Martyn with me. How's it going, Martyn?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's been a very, very busy week.
It has. There's lots to talk about because we've just had Disney Plus Day and D23. So we're going to be talking about that today.
Yep.
I'm sure you'll have a lot to say because there's been lots of trailers released and whatnot. So do you want to get started on any of that? Or in fact, I'm going to ask of what is D23 for anyone who isn't like completely sure?
Well, D23 is kind of like Disney hardcore fans. There's like a membership group.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not totally au fait when it comes to Disney, if I'm honest, but from the limited understanding I do have of it, is it's a group of Disney fans that are all part of a club called D23. I know the D23 stands for something and I can't remember what it is, so hopefully someone can put that in the comments for us. But so basically they have this event once a year where they sort of release all the latest things that are happening in Disney merchandise, new rides, films, you name it. So that's the basics.
So what have we got so far? Is it, how long does it take place? Do you know? Is it because it's still being like things released and whatnot? I'm still seeing things coming out of Marvel, and we're on like day 3 now, I think, aren't we?
Yes, I believe it's a 3-day kind of like a bit like Star Wars Celebration convention type thing, and it has all of the merchandise and everything you can buy there, and it has all the panels just like a normal convention would. But I think Friday, I don't know what they did on Friday, but I know yesterday they did the film panels, and my wife's actually currently watching the panels of what's going on in the actual theme parks right now.
Cool. Okay.
So I think they're releasing things that are happening in the parks, rides, attractions, that sort of thing. So
nice.
So yeah.
Nice. So obviously so many things are Disney property now, Star Wars being one of them, and that's what we're here to talk about. So we've had new trailers released for several programs. Andor, Mandalorian season 3, a program that I hadn't heard of, Tales of the Jedi, that must be just being like made, people making it known to everyone now, because I haven't heard of it. I don't know about you.
Yes, it got it's been rumored for a while. It was accidentally leaked about 6 to 9 months ago.
Well, how did I miss that one?
I don't know, but they also showed the first episode at Star Wars Celebration in Anaheim, whenever that was, April, I think, May. I think it was May. So yeah, it's been about for a while, but they're going to release the whole 6-part series on one day.
Cool.
Yeah, they're only short.
When's that? October, isn't it?
October, yes. Yeah, next month, yeah. They're only short, so I think they're only going to be 5-6 minutes long each. They're not going to be Clone Wars type episodes, but really
based on the trailers, that actually, I said to you, didn't I? It gave me goosebumps. There were some really cool moments in there.
Yeah, I mean,
like seeing a young Dooku and Qui-Gon as his apprentice.
Yeah,
it's all quite entertaining and all quite interesting stuff. I'm quite looking forward to it.
I'm totally looking forward to it. Obviously, the Mandalorian is probably the big one, but Tales of the Jedi, it gives you a bit more backstory about what happened before the Phantom Menace. I think, and it's also going to give you a bit more backstory of how Anakin trained Ahsoka. There was in the trailer, there was a great moment where they recreated Padme's funeral from the end of Revenge of the Sith, and in the crowd you could see a hooded Ahsoka. So every time we watch that movie now, we'll know that somewhere in that crowd she's there. And that's the sort of little moments that I love about Star Wars, and Dave Filoni flying the flag once again.
Do we know who's coming in to do the voices on those? On the characters, is it all the originals?
All the original Clone Wars actors are coming back. and they've got Liam Neeson to come back as Qui-Gon
Oh wow.
when he's
Impressive.
older.
Yeah.
But when he's playing the younger Qui-Gon, they've got his actual son in real life playing,
Oh,
doing the voice.
yeah, cool.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And just a couple of quick things I noticed from the trailer, which I thought were really cool. There's the moment where Anakin's quite obviously teaching Ahsoka how to defend herself, and she's surrounded by clones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see quite clearly she does the same moves that she uses when Order 66 happens in the final episodes of the Clone Wars. So you could argue that Anakin was the one who saved her from Order 66. Thought that was great.
Yeah.
And
those
as you
little
mentioned,
details that you notice that I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there was a couple of little character moments in there. A slightly younger Mace Windu will be interesting. As you said, Count Dooku and Qui-Gon's really, really interesting because we don't know much about Dooku before the numbered films.
No.
And great little Yaddle moment in there as well. Yaddle's been spoken about for so long. It's going to be. I think this will be the first time we've actually seen her in some sort of. It was not live action, but you know what I mean, visual programming. So yeah, looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome.
Cool. Yeah. And Mandalorian, have you got much to say on that?
I mean, what is there to say about that trailer? I mean, I was punching the air after that trailer. From what I've read online, it seems like that's pretty much the same trailer they played at Celebration, but then wouldn't show anybody else afterwards. But there were some great moments in there. I mean, what did you think?
It just seems to follow on from like the joy that series 1 and 2 gave us.
Yeah.
Straight away you're like, I think this is going to be fine. Yeah. Whereas other things you're never sure, are you? You're never quite sure.
No.
I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but
I think you can with this.
They haven't done wrong yet, have they? Really?
No, they haven't. And it's so good, the trailers that they make these days, because they show you so little really about the plot. But you're sitting there after the trailer going, "Oh, that could happen," and they're obviously going to Mandalore, so this could happen. And so I'm really, really looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome.
Is that next year? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in early 2023, so that's going to be great.
Yeah. When was season 2 released? Do you remember?
Oh, that's a good question. It wasn't this year, was it?
No, I don't think so.
No, it was last year.
Just thinking they're making us wait a long time for this, but I suppose they've given us a lot. Yeah, because December last year, I think, was when Boba Fett came out, wasn't it?
I was just about to say you're right. That's right. So it must have been before Boba Fett.
Yeah. As well, they've given us a bit in between, I suppose.
Yeah. We've still got Andor to come. So.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. Ahsoka, what's been released about that? We see there's live action Rebels. So the characters from Rebels, some of them are making their first live action appearance.
By the looks of it, I think we've got the whole Rebels crew, to be honest with you. Well, actually,
minus one.
Kanan, obviously, yes. Yeah. So that live action picture that they showed of Sabine Wren standing in front of that mural, that's actually from the final shot, spoiler alert, of Rebels, where she's just created that art. And she's looking at the mural and she turns around and Ahsoka's there waiting for her, and they just head off somewhere, and that's the end of the series. So
carrying on roughly from there, I suppose.
Yeah, I won't tell you where they're going or why they're going there, because that's too much of a spoiler. But you'll probably have to watch those episodes before obviously Ahsoka comes out. But
you'll have to release your guide, your list, like you've done before.
Your essential list.
We'll put it up on the social media or something.
Yeah.
You can find the links in the description below. So that's looking awesome. There was a picture of Ahsoka as well, but I mean, it was just Ahsoka with some lightsabers, so of course it was awesome. And there was one more of her standing in a room, which looked like it had something to do with the Mortis arc from the Clone Wars / the World Beyond Worlds, which was in Rebels, which is probably another episode you haven't seen. Right, I was going to say even the Clone Wars, you might have to jog my memory on that.
Yeah,
because I can't Can't remember too well from there. Yeah.
They don't seem to shy away too much, do they, from things that they've created in the animated series? So it makes it a bit difficult for people who haven't seen those, or perhaps have only even seen it once.
Yes and no. I'm sure you could probably still get by without it, can't you? So it's not too big of a deal. I think we'll manage.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Well, I don't know the sort of ratio between who has and who hasn't watched the animated stuff, but I would have thought anyone going onto the series, majority of people probably haven't. Well, not even the majority of people. That just sounds ridiculous because there's so many hardcore Star Wars fans out there. But there's probably a good percentage that hasn't seen the animated series.
Yeah,
it doesn't just fit. It doesn't suit everyone, does it? So.
No. I've seen people complain online that they shouldn't be releasing so much stuff that relies on you having to watch the animated series, but it doesn't bother me. I've seen it.
Yeah, you've seen it. Oh, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew. Then that's a Jude Law fronted thing, is it?
Yes.
That's another thing that I don't know a whole lot about.
No, I think
there wasn't a trailer, was there?
No, we mentioned it ever so briefly in a podcast a while back, I think, and it was basically, I think he's rescued some children in the Star Wars galaxy. We don't know what from, and it's some sort of venture they're going on. They released a single picture of him with some kids in the background. I think it's going to skew more to the younger age group, which is fine. I'll watch it anyway.
Yeah, of course.
So we don't know too much about it.
We don't know anything about his character.
No. I read a rumor today that in the sequel trilogy, they mentioned that all of the children were stolen from people so that they could become First Order stormtroopers.
Okay.
Remember that at all? It's Finn.
Yeah. Vaguely.
Finn was basically kidnapped as a child and turned into a stormtrooper. Well, there's a rumor going around that these children that he'll rescue is from the First Order to stop them, and then obviously they're being chased because they want them for the stormtroopers. But who knows? That's probably complete and utter rubbish. But
who knows exactly? Yeah. So then finally, Andor. I think that's covered everything, hasn't it? Oh no, it hasn't actually, because we were going to talk a little bit about the Obi-Wan documentary.
Yeah, no, we haven't got onto Disney Plus Day yet. This is just D23.
That's true. Yeah. So the Andor trailer, then we'll start with that.
Yeah, there was two lots of Andor things to talk about. There was the Andor trailer, which was D23. Again, it was very quick, 1 minute 15 seconds of mostly footage that we've seen already, but again, some new stuff, especially with some clone troopers, which was awesome. I do love the clones. It just looks like a fantastic espionage type thriller. I've said that several times on pods, but I can't wait. I really can't. I genuinely, and I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be awesome.
This is, again, it's my concern that my anticipation for it is so high that I'm very nervous that I'm going to be disappointed by it.
Yeah.
I'm sure I won't, but...
No. I think perhaps we have to go into it knowing it might be a slow burn. You're not going to be action-packed every week. It's got to set everything up. And it may even set everything up in the first season for the second season. So
yeah, true.
I think as long as it's interesting, and you can see something coming along the lines, I think, I'm going to put my head on the block and say this is probably going to be my favorite show of the year.
You have already said, you think it's going to be right up there. So
it's a great time period. So and if the people that made Rogue One have got something to do with it,
I think that's what I said. We can only hope that they go at it with the same energy.
Yeah.
So. Cool, and that leads us on to the Andor sneak peek that was released on Disney Plus Day. Yeah, which again was awesome, and I really didn't. Part of me wanted to try and switch off, try and just turn it off because I didn't want it to spoil. I didn't want to see too much, but it was cool, and
Yeah. I mean, what
It
did you
was
think of
cool.
that amazing scene where they're having that blaster fight in that
Yeah.
kind of warehouse type
I mean,
place?
even the bit leading up to it, is it Stellan Skarsgård? I
Yes.
think I've
Yeah.
asked you that before.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just great as it. You
Yeah.
know, he's a great actor.
He just needs to learn his name because it's not Andor.
Yeah, Cassian Andor. Yeah, it's the accent, I think, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's just their dialogue between them it was I don't know, it was just quite a raw sort of thing, wasn't it? And
It was.
I really enjoyed it. And like I say, I was almost tempted to switch off because I didn't want to see too much before it all came out,
Yeah.
but I couldn't help myself. I watched right until the end.
Yeah, no,
So
it was. Yeah, I can't blame you. I mean, I have exactly the same feelings whatever happens with Star Wars, because just towards the last week or so of whatever they bring out, they'll start releasing scenes and
yeah,
TV spots, and every time I'm like, no, no, I'm not going near it. I'm not going to watch it. And you can always guarantee that I'm going to watch
you
it.
will see it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I can't help myself. Just to go on a side note, I remember when Revenge of the Sith came out, and a month before the movie came out, they released the computer game on Xbox and PlayStation 2,
All right.
and between each level they put scenes from the actual movie in,
Oh my
a
goodness.
whole month. And I said, played the first level, watched the scene, played the second level, watched the scene, and I was like, oh, this is ruining too much. This is ruining. I'm definitely not going to play any more of this because I want to be fresh when I go to cinema. Within 2 days, I'd completed the game.
Yeah, and
I'd even found a
spoiled the
cheat.
entire film, I
Yeah,
suppose.
spoiled the entire film, how everything happened. Even put a cheat in, a cheat code in, so that I could skip the levels and just watch
Just
the actual clips. So I'm useless when it comes to stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, can't be helped.
No,
No.
it's got to be done.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and then the other thing on Disney Plus Day then, Obi-Wan documentary.
Yeah, no, yes. I mean, I've been really looking forward to this because, without treading over old ground, you know how much I love the prequels, and I couldn't wait to see these guys back together. I mean, I've written some notes about this, but before I start going on, what did you think?
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I loved seeing like the bits of old and the bits of new, like, going Ewan McGregor when he went back to choose his original lightsaber and things like that. It was just you can see how passionate pretty much all the actors are about Star Wars in general.
Yeah, yeah.
And how none of them actually expected to get the roles.
No,
that was the other thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it was brilliant. Like the camaraderie between Ewan and Hayden Christensen. They are like brothers. They were like brothers. I imagine they're,
Yeah. That's actually one of my notes.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. It was great to see them back together. It's
Seeing
kind of
them,
like,
even you could see like how much they love each other, love working with each other. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And they didn't seem to have, they hadn't lost a beat with their lightsaber battles. It didn't look like it took too much for them to get into. Obviously, we don't get to see everything, but
no,
it
was
pretty
great.
epic.
It was pretty epic.
And I don't know if we've mentioned it, but I think I was waiting until we did the retrospective, which could be in the distance, basically a long time away. But how good Deborah Chow was as director.
Yes,
because directing all of the episodes, and seems like she wanted to she had a clear vision of what she wanted to get across, and did the trick.
Yeah, no, I agree.
The series there's a lot of people out there that weren't keen on the series.
No,
I enjoyed it. I'm sure, we brought up a few issues that we had with it, but all in all, it was entertainment, wasn't it? So
yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, overall, I really enjoyed it. Were there moments in it that I was disappointed in? Yeah, I think if I'm being honest, there probably was, and I probably would have liked it to be slightly more epic, if that's the right word, than it was. But perhaps it wasn't meant to be epic.
But it had some really epic moments, didn't
it? It did.
We can't deny that. And also going back to the documentary, seeing the costumes again, seeing Hayden getting dressed up in all his makeup and costumes. It was quite cool.
Yeah. That was awesome. Yeah.
Go on and hit me with all your notes.
Okay. Well, I mean, a couple of them you've already said. I thought it was absolutely great to see Ewan and Hayden back together again. Because in another documentary, they hadn't spoken in something like 16 or 17 years.
Wow.
And like you said, when they got back together, it almost seemed like they hadn't
Haven't
been
missed a
apart.
beat, had they? No.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. And literally my second note was, it genuinely feels like they're both brothers when they're together. You could really see it. Watching them rehearse their lightsaber battles, overlaid with them rehearsing their lightsaber battles from episode 3.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. And again, to quote you, they didn't miss a beat. It looked absolutely great, and it almost seemed to me that Hayden Christensen had been practicing for 17 years before this because he knew that one day he would be coming back.
Do you reckon? Yeah.
Well, I know for
I feel
me,
like he just really loved it so much that he just practiced every day anyway.
Well, that's the thing. From the episode 3 documentaries and episode 2 documentaries, you really get the impression that his favorite part of it was the lightsaber dueling. So I think he probably kept his hand at it. Maybe he does what we do when we walk around the house with a roll of wrapping paper when no one else is about.
Is that what you do? Is it?
Yep.
Yeah,
what else have I got down here? We have it was how much of a George Lucas aficionado I am. I thought it was absolutely fantastic that Hayden kept bringing up George Lucas all the time, and how he had George Lucas to thank for this, and how if George Lucas hadn't created this, none of us would be here today. I really got Dave Filoni vibes from him, making sure that no one forgot the maker himself, the guy that brought us this in the first place. I think that's really important that that's brought up from time to time, because sometimes it gets a little bit lost. And I think fans like me still genuinely miss his presence in Star Wars. So I think it's great that was brought up. I had no idea that Ewan McGregor was an executive producer, and he actually had a lot to do with the writing of the not the writing, but the story, coming up with the ideas for the story. So that was quite interesting. So I guess as an executive producer and the person who plays the character, it probably meant a lot more to him to get that input. So that was good. One thing I always love from documentaries is when they show you footage from the 1970s and 80s when they're making the original films. And 40 years later, they're still coming up with stuff that I've never seen before. So those archives must be packed full of footage out there, and I'd love to get in there and watch some of the behind the scenes footage that they never released. I mean, Lucasfilm was sitting on a gold mine. They could, on Disney, they could literally create a couple of documentaries with all this behind the scenes footage. And we would eat that.
We'd lap it up. Yeah,
we would,
without doubt.
Absolutely. So that's always absolutely brilliant. I thought it was absolutely hilarious seeing the footage from behind the scenes in The Phantom Menace, where Ewan McGregor was walking around with that long hair, looking like a 90s, I don't know, drongo, is that the right word? I don't know.
So, yeah.
He really looked like he shouldn't be there. Do you know what I mean? And he didn't look excited to be there either. But obviously, when he was telling the story, he obviously was. But I thought that was hilarious. That did make me laugh. Seeing what he looked like back then.
Do you know what? One thing that I've just remembered about was something we said when we were doing the Obi-Wan podcasts. How genuinely struck with fear he looked when Darth Vader came around that corner, and he said in the documentary, doesn't he? As soon as I saw that suit, I was absolutely scared out of my life.
That's very true. I think we all would be, though, wouldn't we?
I think
especially on a set as well. Everything dark. I mean, I would be awesome though. I'd definitely trade that. That would be awesome.
That'd be worth it for sure.
Couple more things. These won't surprise you. Seeing my two favorite characters of all time behind the scenes, Qui-Gon Jinn and Palpatine.
That was actually really cool. Seeing them talking, directing Ian McDermott.
It was absolutely
the way they did. It was and
seeing him in the Emperor Palpatine outfit for the first time since 1983, I guess. In Return of the Jedi, that was really cool. And it kind of got a close look at the makeup they gave him, so it was more Return of the Jedi makeup than Revenge of the Sith.
Definitely.
And it was really nice to see that Liam Neeson, Qui-Gon, was actually on set.
Yeah.
Filming, because they could have just filmed that in a studio and just inserted him as a Force ghost. So I thought that was really cool. That was really nice. And
they didn't show any interactions, did they, between Ewan and Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson?
They show he was on a camel. Ewan McGregor and Liam Neeson was. But
I mean, it wasn't like when he met Hayden, when he saw him for the first time.
Oh no,
he gave a big old hug and whatnot. No.
They gave a little behind the scenes interview with Liam Neeson, explaining why he really wanted to do it again, which I thought was nice. But there was about 3 or 4 weeks before the show came out, he did an interview and he kept getting asked, "Are you going to turn up in the Obi-Wan series?" And he said, "Oh no, I don't do television shows. I call me a snob, but I'm a movie man." And of course, everyone was kind of like, "Oh, I can't believe it!" But it was so funny when we saw him. I forgot to bring this up at the time that. He was obviously playing everybody, and it worked because I was convinced of him saying that he wasn't going to be in it, and I was quite disappointed. So, that was awesome. Another thing I noticed was when they were filming the epic lightsaber duel in the last episode between Vader and Obi-Wan, they actually were playing Duel of the Fates while they were fighting, which is awesome behind the scenes to see. But kind of a little bit disappointing at the same time that they didn't perhaps at least try and get a little bit of it in when they were fighting. So it was kind of a what we could have had moment. That was cool. But the biggest compliment I could give the documentary, and this is my final thing, is when I'd finished watching it, it made me want to stick on the first episode again and start watching it all over again. So I can't say fairer than that.
Well, I'm sure we will at some point, won't we?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
But we won't be podcasting about it. We've done that.
No.
Right. I think that's it for this week. Are you happy with that? Have you got anything else to add?
Well, we did have some pickups of the week, didn't we?
That's right. Yeah, you've added to the collection. Am I right?
I have. And
on top of all of the of all the auction stuff from last week's episode.
Well, the problem is I pre-order these things and
then forget about them because it takes a while.
Them. Yeah. Exactly, and you never know when they're going to turn up. There's no set date really. I mean, they give you a rough idea, but they never turn up when you actually think. And of course, right now I'm trying to play for time because I'm scrolling through my phone to find the pictures of them because I cannot remember
what you got.
Names.
Do you know what I think I might remember? Because they're characters from Mandalorian.
They are.
One of them's Bill Burr's character that I can't remember his name. No, one of them is. No, you're going to have to take it.
I think it was Cosca Reeves, who was played by Sasha Banks.
Okay.
She was in the couple of episodes, wasn't she?
Yes, she's a Mandalorian kind of.
I'm really embarrassed. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to pop a little picture up right now.
Okay. These are the ones that you bought.
These are the ones that I bought. And the collector.
And if you're only listening, then you're going to have to look on the Twitter. We'll put a picture up there.
Yeah. This is just fantastic preparation from us, and I'm sure you've come to be used to.
When I said anything to add, you could have just said no.
I could
leave it till next week.
Yeah. They didn't come till this week. See what the professionals that we are, we won't edit this bit out.
No, we'll leave that in. We'll put the picture up.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's great. Next week, I think we're going to be doing a Rogue One rewatch in preparation for Andor.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I can watch Rogue One over and over again.
Yeah, it's so good. So good. Yeah, if you enjoyed this one, make sure to like and subscribe. Rate and review if you're listening on your podcast apps. And we'll catch you next time.
Cool.
Cheers, man.
See you later. Bye.